What's going on, gamers? Welcome back to the Trench Grenade channel. I am making this video because it is the requirement of all gun tubers, the unwritten rule that you make a home defense breakdown video of what I use for home defense and my recommendations for what I use. At the time that you're seeing this video, I am going to be in the middle of a basic combat training cycle. As many of you probably know, I am a drill sergeant. So what's up? I probably filmed this the week before, so I hope you enjoy the video, guys. It is going to be $5 for the Patreon. That greatly motivates me during these freaking 16-hour days to get in here or get out on the range, as most of the videos are filmed on the range, and burn that ammo and talk to you guys about what my experiences have been with weapons and training, and actually put it out here for you guys. So if you enjoy the content, please check out the Patreon. It's only $5 a month, and it motivates me to motivate you to train. Weird, right? The biggest sponsor of the channel right now is going to be Palmetto State Armory. They give us a link for every video. I post the link in the description. It takes you to their daily deals page. If you buy something, I get a small kickback, and that also motivates me. And lastly, Right to Bear. Right to Bear is going to be your firearms insurance with unlimited legal protection if you have to use your Palmetto State Armory dagger in Walmart to defend yourself and your family. Well, guess what? They're going to go to bat for you, and they are going to help you out legally in a court of law. Okay, hopefully that covers all of the freaking bills. All right, guys. First thing, so home defense. So in your state, hopefully you live in a castle doctrine state, which means you don't have to retreat. And if somebody comes into your house, you can, if you fear for your life, you can smoke them, okay, in place. So, mic check. Guys, the mic PTSD is out of control. If you want to send me a mic for the channel, feel free, because I hate recording all this and then losing the content. Okay, so we're going to do this in a tiered approach. I'm going to go from my most effective but least common method of home defense to my most common method of home defense. And some of you are going to know what I'm talking about because life gets in the way, okay? And as I mess around with my freaking ear pro here. So, guys, throughout the week, right, as I'm doing 16-hour days, and my wife is working, right, or doing what she's got to do, this is just going to be a tiered approach. So number 4 on the list, this is going to be number 4. It's going to be the most lethal, but the least likely for me to actually be using throughout the work week, and I'll explain why. So number 4 on the list, the most lethal option, but the least likely, is going to be PVS 14s paired with a Daniel Defense 16-inch, okay, a Daniel Defense 16-inch V7 with a red dot sight and a D-ball A3 and a white light, okay. Why is this the most lethal option? Well, guys, I can freaking turn my nods on. I can turn all the lights out. I can tell the A word. I'm not going to say it, but say, hey, A word. Turn off all lights in the house or cut the power if I have time for some reason. And I can go to work with my IR designator. Mic check. We are good with my IR designator and my freaking IR illuminator and my white light on my weapon, depending on what the scenario is. And I have a red dot, and I have magnification if I need it. And I do have a sling on this gun. This gun is 5.56, and I have a PVS 14 white phosphorus Gen 2 Plus, okay? The Gen 2 Plus paired with an IR illuminator on this D-ball A3 is going to make it, when there are situations where there's little to no illumination, I just put this freaking this illuminator in that corner. They can't see the IR light or laser, but I can. And then I give them the business because they're in my property and trying to attack me and my family or my dogs, right? So there you go. That is going to be my most lethal option, right? Is going to be the Daniel Defense V7 with a D-ball A3, IR designator and IR illuminator, laser, all that. A 1,000 lumen light from Streamlight, red dot sight, 6-hour Romeo 5, and an EOTech magnifier, 3 times magnifier that I typically will take off and put it in my pocket, and a T-Rex arm sling. So this is my, if I have like time off, if I know I'm going to be at the house for more than 12 hours, then this is what I'll get out. So this is my most unlazy home defense option. Is going to be running PVS 14 White Phos Gen 2 Plus with a freaking 16-inch AR with a sling and a way to go to work in white light or limited conditions. Okay, this is like what's going to happen when the alien invasion comes, right? Okay, nothing discussed in today's video should be taken as legal advice or as a substitute for legal advice. Always remember the 4 rules of firearm safety. Treat your weapon as if it is loaded at all times. Keep your finger straight off the trigger until you're ready to engage. Be aware of your target and its surroundings, and never point your weapon to anything you don't intend to destroy. The Discord server is live. Get in there, get some gaming buddies and some buddies to train with. The Patreon is live. It is the only source of funding for the channel. If you're interested in it, get over there and check out the Patreon. We could sure use your help. Thanks. The microphone PTSD is not going to win today. We will prevail. Okay, so number 4, like I said, was the PVS 14, D-Ball A3, white light on the rifle, freaking V7 with a ballistic helmet and armor. I guess I'll grab the armor because everyone's going to be, it's not set up. It's set up for work right now. So it's slick. Okay. So with level 3 plates, okay. If you're a civilian, you need armor and you're balling on a budget, get some Hesco L210s. They are not rated, but they have been known to stop stuff. So again, my number 4 option for home defense is armor, and freaking night vision. Okay, guys, number 3. The number 3 option, as we set things up here, is going to be a Beretta 1301, okay, from Langdon Tactical. This is a 7+1 12-gauge shotgun that fires as fast as you can physically pull the trigger. I run it with S-Tac side saddle with 12-gauge double-aught buck. Every single shell in here is going to be double-aught buckshot, and I run on the rear. I run a 5-shot side saddle on my firing side for the stock, so I can put it up on my shoulder and load. And if I need to, I can get my handgun out and fight from my handgun, okay? And then I can continue to load if need be. So yeah, I also run 1,000 lumen light on the shotgun for my Beretta 1301 from Langdon Tactical. And I run iron sights, glow-in-the-dark iron sights as well. And I've noticed, because right now they're not going to show up. Mic check. Oh, mic PTSD. Right now it's not going to show up, right? The front sight post is not going to show up very much. But if I activate my white light for a couple seconds, okay, now that front sight is glowing crazy green, okay, super bright. So shout out to Langdon Tactical. This thing has been sweet. You've seen it on the channel before. To the untrained person, all I'd have to do is press this little shell release button. Okay, right now there is a shell on the lifter, right? All I'd have to do, I would keep this weapon on fire. Okay, I would tell my spouse, or if you're dating or you have a roommate, whatever, don't ever touch the shotgun. If you have to, rack it hard and then point it at what you don't want to be here anymore and pull the trigger. This thing has low recoil, okay, and you're gonna have fast follow-up shots, and you got 7+1 12 gauge double-aught buckshot to defend your house. So this is going to be my number 3 option on the list. Number 3 being the third most likely. If you break into my house, this is going to be the third most likely thing. Excuse me, mic check. That will greet you wherever you are trying to break in, or on my property if you were trying to attack me and my family. This will be the guy that greets you. Beretta 12 gauge 1301 for Langdon Tactical, running S-Tac side saddle. Obviously, my sling is pulled off right now. We do a lot of filming, and a lot of times stuff gets put back in the saves, and I pull slings off and put it in my sling box. So the sling is not on here, but obviously I would have a sling on the weapon. Guys, this video is not advocating for violence, but if someone is trying to kill you and your family, that is what these weapons are going to be here for. So in summary so far, number 4 was the night vision setup with Daniel Defense V7 with a D-Ball A3, 1,000 lumen light, a red dot, Chamberlain 5.56 with a ballistic helmet and armor. Number 3 is the Beretta 1301 for Langdon Tactical, and I will typically stage these shotgun cards from S-Tac. I will stage them strategically around my house, okay? This being the third, so aka I'll leave them in places that I 3 or 4 places that I know I can grab another one. So that way, if the gun runs dry, if it's some crazy epic gunfight, I can just throw another one on the side of the shotgun as I'm going, take the old one off, put the new one on, and then there you go. The reason why 12 gauge is on the list is because if I hit somebody within 50 meters with double-aught buckshot, they will most likely stop doing what I don't want them to do anymore. If they're wearing armor, then I'll just punch them again, and I'll punch them again, and I'll punch them again until they stop doing the thing I don't want them to do. Okay, so now we've covered my go-to rifle for number 4 and my go-to shotgun, the third most likely. the second most likely option. Okay, guys. The drink for the video is water because it is the summer and we are training trainees day in, day out. Okay. Mic check is good. Okay. Number two, as I was. Number two that I'm most likely to have, if we're being realistic, is going to be my Shadow Systems. Okay. Shadow Systems DR920L. Okay. It's a Glock 34 with extra steps, right? It's a Glock 34. I got a 1,000 lumen light on this gun. It's a TLR 1HL from Streamlight. Okay. If you're probably noticing a trend, I have a EPS sight from Holosun with a green dot. Why did I get green dot? It was what they had in stock. So I got the green dot because it's what they have in stock. Yeah. I do take off on my Shadow Systems. I take off the extended magazine well on the bottom because I don't like the bulk of it. Okay. So the reason why I have a handgun for my second most likely option, because being a drill sergeant, coming in and out of the house at late hours and early morning, and just weird schedules through training, right? Whenever I get a chance to come back home, I want something that I can just grab out and throw in the holster and grab that belt and bring it upstairs or wherever I'm going throughout the house. I can just grab my gun belt. I don't have to grab a long gun, and it's more convenient. This is a 19+1, okay, because I run the 19X magazines in it. So it's a 19+1 weapon with the Holosun EPS of 9mm. I'm extremely effective with this weapon. I do have backup metal sights that are one green front sight. So if I ever decide to get froggy with it and run my PVS 14 with a helmet, the green dot, the two green dots will line up perfectly. Obviously, if I'm running the green dot, the freaking EPS sight, I'm going for that. But as a freaking backup to the backup, I have the glow in the dark freaking front sight post as well. But yeah, guys, same thing. The reason why this is number 2 on the list, I have a ton of rounds. I'm extremely effective. I compete with this gun. As you've seen on the channel, I shoot it a ton. I had a weird break-in thing with both my Shadow Systems pistols, but once they get past that weird, like, 400, 500 round break-in period, these things just chug. They are awesome. They look great. They perform great. They're lightweight, and they've been awesome. So that is my number 2 option on my list for home defense weapons, is because it's convenient. I can grab the Shadow Systems out of the safe. I can I can put it in my freaking Ronin belt that I'm wearing right now. Okay, I can put it in here, and then I have 4 magazines on plus 1 in the gun, and I can position a couple throughout the house if I'm worried about some crazy doomsday event happening or break-in, right, guys? Okay, so that's going to be number 2 on the list, the Shadow Systems DR920L, because I get 19+1 in a standard magazine in that weapon, and I can always have my belt on me, a way to retain the weapon if I have time and everything like that. So that's number 2 on the list. All right, guys. Before I say number 1, I'm going to do the YouTube thing. If you have enjoyed this list so far and things are lining up, mic check, things are lining up with the way that you kind of position your list, if we're being realistic, right? You have your go-to rifle, then maybe your go-to shotgun, then maybe, a super awesome handgun that you trust with your life. If this is all lining up, check out the Patreon. It's $5 a month. And click the links below. Shout out to Palmetto State Armory for sponsoring me, and Right to Bear. Okay, a way to get a gun and a way to protect yourself when you use the gun. Okay, so those 2 sponsors go hand in hand, and all those things keep me motivated to want to keep making content for y'all. All right, drum roll, please. The most preferred option if you break into my house and it is a Tuesday night, right? The most common thing you're going to run into most likely is going to be this Beretta M9A4. Why? Why, Trench? Oh, where's your white light? Well, right now I'm running it without a white light because that's how I've been breaking in the gun. But yes, you can throw any of my Streamlight TLR 1HLs on here. I am waiting for a different Safariland holster. So right now I've been running this with no white light. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, you're going to say what you're going to say. I can literally say, if there's power, I can say, hey, the word, turn on all lights and play Doom music throughout the house. And hey, S-word on my phone, go ahead and call the police and whatever, right? And I can do everything like that. So right now I've been running this no white light. Go ahead and get down in the comments and tell me I'm stupid. Guys, I got it. Okay, I got another holster on the way. But for the past 3 weeks, this has been what has been following me around the house. And I'm going to tell you why. It's confidence inspiring, okay? It's the weapon I've been shooting the most lately. We're breaking it in for the channel. We have over 1,000 rounds through it now. And I grew up with it in the Army. And this weapon, okay, inspires confidence, and it is heavy, okay, relatively speaking. And I shoot it really well. Is like I said, is very confidence inspiring. The magazines are 18 or 17, okay? So you have 18 or 17 rounds, depending on which magazine that you have in the weapon, okay? And yeah, I use the decocker only, no safety, just decocker only, okay? And I carry all my weapons for home defense is amber, an amber status. What amber means is I have an empty chamber, okay? Mic check, we are green. An empty chamber and decock, and then mag in, and then holster up. Okay, and what that prevents is a possible negligent discharge. If I don't know, maybe you're being negligent and your weapon is sitting around and someone comes over to your house and starts messing with it, or you have kids. If you have kids, do not leave your weapons loaded and do not leave them laying around anyway. You need to have that weapon on you or next to you. Do not let your weapon become used and by the wrong person, by a child or whatever, and a negligent discharge happens. So I highly recommend amber. What amber means is empty chamber, loaded mag. All you have to do is rack it, and it's for a defensive situation. Let me know in the comments what you do, but that's what I do, and it's worked for me so far. I've had numerous situations where I have had to either wake up. Normally it's late at night, or wake up and something's going on. Maybe the neighbors are doing something crazy, or someone's getting towed. You know what I mean, or something crazy. So amber is just what I recommend for safety on both ends. Okay, safety for you, and it gives you time to kind of think. If you're waking up and they're on top of you, well, it's probably already over anyway. It's probably too late for you. That's why you need to have lights. Beware of dog signs. You need to have a ring, or a bunch of cameras around the house, either a ring or a blink or whatever you want to do, and have actually have dogs that are loud, yappy dogs that'll keep criminals out. Okay, guys. So, yeah, those are my tips for home defense. Make sure everyone in your, if the only things that will change your list, from my advice would be if a family member can't shoot the shotgun and doesn't train on the shotgun, take it out of the rotation. If a family member doesn't know how to run your AR, take it out of the rotation or train them. Okay, they need to be able to run whoever else is in the household and is of age and is a make sure we got it green, and is someone that you're going to have in your defensive plan. Make sure they are confident. Obviously, if they don't have their own set of nods, well, if they're going to be home by themselves with the helmet and everything, like that's a ton of training that you're going to have to train for a situation like this. If you want your spouse or your battle buddy to know how to run PVS 14s, well, you're going to need to actually go to the range and actually train. Okay, so this is going to come back down to training, and a big part of home defense is going to be rehearsals. You have to actually rehearse. Okay, someone's breaking in. I recommend you have a code word for you and your family members. Let's just use a random one. A windscreen. Maybe your code word or your panic word in your household is windscreen. So if you don't use that for anything else, but if you hear windscreen, 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 okay, or whatever word you want to use, that means someone is trying to break in. Someone is breaking in. Grab the guns. Go to whatever pre-designated location you have in the house, or whatever plan. I recommend you go to a designated room, preferably on the second or third floor, depending on what kind of situation you have. The highest point that you can, and that is easily defendable with everybody. And make sure everyone in the house knows to not use that password. Mic check. Not use that password for anything other than an emergency. Okay, guys. Rehearse. Keep the area around the house well lit. Make sure if you do have dogs, congratulate them if they bark and there's something that was relatively suspicious. Congratulate them. Don't be one of these people like yelling at your dogs as my dog starts to bark. Don't be one of these people that are like, bad dog, and congratulate your dogs, bring them into the defensive plan. And no, don't rely. Someone in the comments is going to say, oh, if anyone breaks in, my dog is going to. Don't rely on your dog is not a member of the defense plan as far as actual defense. They are just a early warning device. Okay, don't be doing no crazy comments down below that my dog is whatever breed and it's going to attack and rip you apart. If that is the case, you probably need to get your dog some training, because that is probably not the best advice. Okay. or not the best course of action, is to use a dog for physical deterrent. Maybe the audible barking is what I would say, and that people know you have multiple dogs, okay? But them being like actually attacking people, probably not a good idea. Okay, I've talked to y'all enough. We talked about my options, okay? The AR-15 with nods is my least likely option just because of time and work. And then we got the Beretta 1301, okay? And then we got my Shadow Systems DR920L, right? It's basically a Glock 34 with a red dot and a white light. And then what I've been testing out for you guys on the channel, which has been the most common if you were to break in right now, would be this freaking Beretta M9 A4 with 4 mags additional on my gun belt plus magazines staged throughout the house, should the situation prolong itself or should things escalate to a crazy extent. All right, guys, I think I'm done talking at you. Home defense just takes preparation and training, having that code word, making sure everyone in your household is on the same page. Remember, do not hurt people, or I do not advocate for you hurting anybody for property. I only would say none of this is actual legal advice. So get with a lawyer, follow your state and local laws, but make sure we're only defending ourselves and our family if our life is in jeopardy. So I don't advocate if you see somebody outside, cracking off a rifle round because they're messing with your car. I don't advocate for that. Call the police. Let the legal system do what it's going to do. But if your life is in jeopardy, that's why you have right to bear. And I guess this works in with a sponsor. That's why you have right to bear $11 per month or $125 a year. If you have to defend yourself and your family with one of these options, right? Make sure your back is covered. If you did the right thing, and hopefully you did do the right thing, they will have your back in court. Okay, guys, that's going to sum up the video. Patreon, like, subscribe, hit the links down below. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for supporting me. Until next time, it's going to be Trench Grenade and my 4 options for home defense. Signing out. Cheers.